Hello everyone, this is Dr. Turpin. I'm going to be your instructor for Nursing 4029 this semester, Nursing Leadership and Management. I want to introduce you to a few things as we go along so you're ready for this semester and kind of know the expectations. This is my contact information. I prefer to be contacted via email. If you call my office number, which is in the syllabus, it actually sends a recording of your voicemail to my email address. So that's a very quick thing. I know a lot of people don't use voicemail as much as they used to, but no, it goes to my email. So that's maybe faster than trying to even text me. But I do have my cell phone number there as well if you need something in an urgent situation. I will let you know that our goal is to try to respond to most of your questions within 24 hours during the week on weekdays, and then within 48 hours over the weekend. Many of our projects and assignments may have a due date on Monday morning, so just be aware that the best time to be checking into that is sometime during that week prior, because you may or may not always get me on a weekend when it's an urgent need and you need to get something turned in, or some answer that you can't move forward on doing an assignment. So, if you can kind of get in the habit when you're getting ready to do post, either on Thursdays or Mondays, to think, is there anything else I need before the next Monday? That's a great habit to be in, because I'm very open to answering any questions in any format that's necessary. And I like to post things a little bit in advance, so if someone else asks a question of me, even if it's in their own individual email, if I feel like it has a lot of relevance to explain something that many other students might have a question with, then I may do my own post and ask the instructor and put that out there for everybody. Just to let you know, leadership is my passion and my love. I've spent 22 years before solid, full-time, in nursing administrative roles in a wide variety of positions, chaired every committee known to God, chaired lots and lots of project teams for implementing new services, been responsible for not only leading myself, but had many nurse managers and directors under me, and even in the private sector in terms of nursing associations, I've held all kinds of leadership roles there. And my master's is in nursing administration, and I'm board certified as a nursing executive advanced, which is a national certification. So I hope to be able to take a lot of this background and really share with you guys some important points and things. So as we get into different subjects, and as I see that you have things or questions that come about, do not hesitate to ask. Those are things that I can often answer for you very easily and give very good, realistic examples of that from my own experience that may help with understanding some concepts. These are just the course objectives that you'll see in the syllabus. These are kind of the typical things that we're going to try to concentrate on this semester. And, we want you to get a very good understanding of nursing leadership, not just because it's a course and it's required, but because as you graduate with your bachelor's degree, whether you believe it at this point or not, that is one of the key criteria for people looking for potential leadership within organizations is a nurse that has a bachelor's degree. That's the person who may become the charge nurse. That's the person that may be sent to join the committee at the department level versus the unit level. And so more and more responsibilities may come to you than you are even expecting at this point. So it's important to kind of take some of these issues kind of seriously, because as you further your education, you're going to be tapped on more and more to be serving as a leader, and you want to be in a situation where you understand it well, and even though you haven't done it with lots of experience, you understand some of the concepts so that you kind of have an idea of maybe some best strategies going forward. This is just another outline. It's a topical outline that kind of shows how, as a nurse leader, you have all these things piled on, overlapping constantly. And this is very much like you as a staff nurse, or in other roles you may have, where you are just, you have all these things going on and it's one thing over the other. And as a nurse leader, it's not any different. It's just that it's sometimes different things than what the staff person is dealing with. But these will be a lot of key components and concepts that you will review as part of the class. This is the textbook that we'll be using. It is a 2014 or 15 version, so you can look that up pretty easily. And it should be fairly inexpensive because the newest version just came out in this month, January 2019. And while next year in 2020 we will probably adopt this as the 2019 version, for this year in 2019 we're going to keep the old version. So don't waste your money getting the new version. And for future reference, the best way you can find your textbooks is to go to the appstate.edu website and find the link to the bookstore. You can search there for books like you're going to buy books through the bookstore, and you'll just put in the department, the course number, the course section. It'll show your professor beside that, and then hit enter, and it's going to pop up and show you all the textbooks that you need for that course. If you wait until the course is open, you're going to be almost too late trying to get your textbooks. So I just offer that as a word of advice. We do have to provide that information to them 3 months in advance, and so they know that, and their goal is to try to order textbooks to have them available if you need to order them from them, but they also have it set up to open that searching engine about a month prior to when courses start. So that'll give you a lot better opportunity to purchase your books over a period of time and get the best deal as well. These are some of the teaching methodologies that we'll be using. It's a 100% online course. You're going to have readings, discussions, and various assignments. And occasionally I may do a Zoom session, but those are only and can only be offered as optional and not mandatory because our program is considered 100% online. So if those are held and people would like to attend, or if you see that there's a subject that you guys would really like to have a Zoom session on, or several would, I'm very open to that. So please let me know and I'll be glad to set that up. And then there is a way that I can record that, so even if the ones who didn't have time to attend but something they wanted to know about later, it would be there and uploaded in the course for them to review it. So here are some of the assignments. I'm going to go run through them real quick. You've got discussion forums. There are 5 of those in all for a total of 15% of your grade. The first post will be due on Thursdays at 8 p.m. You'll need to reply to 2 of your classmates by the following Monday at 8 a.m. Make sure you review the discussion forum rubric so that you'll be aware of all the requirements for those. And also, just remember too, you want to make sure that you are adding links and or PDFs so that you're not so much for me, but because the idea is within the discussion forums that the other students can actually click on those and look at what it is that you have provided, and they can see that information as well. We also are going to have application activities or application exercises. There's 5 of those in all. Each of those count 5% for a total of 25. And you should be seeing those every 2 to 3 weeks within the As You Learn course. All of those are considered kind of mini papers and should require APA format. So look at your grading rubrics for those as you get doing them. I will say that I believe all of those have like a grading guide that's actually attached to the assignment for that in the As You Learn site now. I've worked real hard to kind of get those organized. So that way you can kind of see it while you're in there versus having to go back and forth from a document. But hopefully that will help, and then when I do the grading, you'll be able to see that specific to those categories, how you did in each section. There are 2 exams for the course, a midterm which counts 12%, a final that counts 13% for a total of 25%. They're in a computerized quiz format, and as you learn, those are posted now. The grades are posted with feedback usually within a couple of days. Sometimes they're set to automatically publish. Often I like to spend a day or two and let them post a little bit later from when you finish or from when the deadline is, just because I like to look through them a little bit. So hopefully, if there's any changes to that, I would make you aware. Leadership issues paper. That is a major assignment for this course, and it's 15% of your grade. So it's important to really put some time and effort into this. It comes towards the end of the course. There are several issues that are provided as options, and there's some ideas that you can use. You're going to define the issue, talk about a leadership perspective for that issue, or what would a leader, what would be their viewpoint on that. Talk about resolutions that are in place to that potential issue or problem, and then you're going to describe in detail your own idea for how to solve that may or may not be in the literature. A minimum of 3 references that are current are required, and current is defined by our program is within the last 5 years. Make sure you, again, review the rubric and are pretty clear on that. If for some reason you have the interest in writing it on a topic that is not listed in that list of topics, email me that information in advance so that if it's something I feel that would be feasible, then I can approve that. But make sure you get that approved in advance. Here in a couple weeks, you're going to be doing a minor paper on leadership project. And this is like 10% of your grade. You're going to choose a time that you were a leader, preferably in nursing, but as some of you are fairly new to nursing, you may need to do it on, something other than nursing when you served as a leader. But you're going to analyze that situation, describe what was going on, and how your style was based on the styles that are listed in your textbook versus the styles and skills that you used at the time. You're going to critique your own skills and evaluate what kinds of things should you have done differently, or you did everything right and you're right on the money. So that'll be interesting to find out a little bit more about how much leadership opportunities and things people have experienced thus far. You're going to do a letter to an editor. This is one that I'll probably put some examples out as well as we get closer to it, because it's sort of towards the end of the course or later in the course. It's worth 5% of your grade, but you're going to select a scholarly healthcare or nursing journal, and you're going to read a major article. And by that I don't mean some other letter to the editor. You're going to read an actual big article, and then you are going to think about what the information that was contained in that in that article, whether it was adequate, accurate, if you look up some other sources, was it really legitimate? You were opposed to it because you found things that it conflicted with, or you felt like it very much was a very necessary, relevant article that helped your understanding and was very important. And you're going to summarize the in brief. You're going to write a letter. You're going to actually write it to the editor, not to the person who wrote the article, but the editor of that journal. So you'll have to do a little digging to find out who that person is. But you're going to physically write a letter to them, and you're going to send it. Some students have actually got theirs published by doing this. So that's kind of a neat nuance as well. But we'll talk a little bit more about that the closer we get to it, so that you're on point. You're also going to do a resume. Many of you already have a resume. You may want to look at it, and is it really up to date? And then the other thing is it asks for you to develop or update a LinkedIn site, and then once you have done that, provide the link. so that we can go in and see what your LinkedIn site looks like as well.